Hello everyone, my name is Laxman Patil and I am from Sri H.J. Gajera English Medium School, Uttarakhand. Today I will be discussing about the Green Revolution in India. The Green Revolution which started in the 1967 for the production or for the improvement in the food resources. So we'll be discussing about the what is Green Revolution, who started Green Revolution, why did Green Revolution started and where did GR that means Green Revolution started. And also the impact, the negative and the positive impact of the Green Revolution will also be discussing about it. So first, what is Green Revolution? So revolution is a word which normally used for the significant impact which happened in the short duration of time. And here the green denotes the agriculture reforms or agriculture revolution. This means a green revolution was a period when the productivity of a global agriculture increased drastically as a result of a new advances. During this time period, the new chemical fertilizers and the pesticides were created. The chemical fertilizers made it possible to supply crops with extra nutrients and therefore increases yield. The newly developed pesticides control weeds, deterrent or kill insects, and prevented diseases, which also resulted in the higher productivity. In short, if we have to summarize what is green revolution, that is we started using a new methods in the field of agriculture. We departed from the old methods that we were using a normal irrigation practices. Instead of that, we started using uh, drip irrigation system and etc. Next is what are the methods or what are the ways which we implemented during the Green Revolution. So first we focused on the HY seeds, that is high yield seeds. It means seeds which are specifically developed for the more outputs. Then we also focused on the proper irrigation system. As we all know, even after the 75 years of independence, there are only 55% of the total agriculture area where the irrigation is still available. Rest 45% of the agriculture field is still non-irrigated. So when we got independence, we had largely less than 20% agricultural field which had a proper irrigated land. So we focus mainly on the irrigation system because that is a necessity for the agriculture. Next, we focus on the multiple cropping system, that is intercropping, crop rotation, mixed farming. We also focus on the cropping system. We also started using a pesticides, fertilizers. Why? Because this gives a higher yield. That because of this, our output drastically increased, and that's how we became a food sufficient country. Next, we also focused on the modern machines. Before the Green Revolution, we were mainly focusing on the labor. This is draft labor. That came from the animals. That is ox and all this. But in the Green Revolution, we mainly focus on the machinery. We use the machinery for increasing our output. Then let's talk about the what is the history and the development of a Green Revolution, where it started and how it started. So first Green Revolution was happened in the USA, and the father of a Green Revolution in the world is known as he is a Norman E. Borlaug, who also received a Congressional Gold Medal in 2007. He was a 1970 Nobel laureate receiver. He also saved the millions of lives from a famine in India, Mexico, and the Middle East countries. Now let's look at what is the situation of a green revolution or how green revolution started in India. So in India, in 1965, the government of Mr. Indira Gandhi decided to major steps on the agriculture condition. Thus, green revolution was applied to the period from 1967 to 1978, basically in the parts of Haryana and Punjab. And why this state were selected? Because a farmer in Punjab and Haryana, they were already rich and they were having a large cropping. They were already having a large farms, and that is a necessity for a green revolution because we cannot grow. Okay. So green revolution mainly started in Punjab and Haryana because the proper irrigation system were already available over there. At this stage, concern was mainly the focus area or the focus crop was a wheat and rice. Apart from wheat and rice, we also focus on the barley, maize, etc. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, who is also known as the father of a green revolution in India, he worked with Dr. Norman Borlaug from Mexico, supported the green revolution through the introduction of a high-yielding variety of wheat seeds. Now let's look at why the green revolution was needed in India. So in 1943, that was also a Second World War II was going on. So world's worst recorded food disaster were happened in India. Bengal famine, that is famously known, it killed more than 4 million people. Green Revolution's highest crop yield was recorded between 1967 to 1978. Term Green Revolution, a general one applied to successful agriculture experiment in developing countries such as India, Mexico, and China. So this is a basic information. What was the food problems in India? We After the 2 decades from the independence, India and the Pakistan, also the Bangladesh, they were facing a food shortages. And food shortages killed more than millions of people in India and also in Pakistan and Bangladesh. Basic elements which used during the Green Revolution. The first is continued expansion of farming areas. Second, double cropping existing farmland. And the third one, using seeds with the superior genetics. In short, for producing a higher variety of seeds, we mainly focused on the two methods that were hybridization and the genetically modified crops, also known as genetically modified organisms. Now we'll be discussing about what are the effects of a green revolution. The first effect or the first positive point of a green revolution was increase in production that made us a food sufficient country. Next was capitalistic farming. Third one was effect on the rural employment. As the green revolution focused mainly on the rural area, the employment generation was largely in the rural area. Reduction in the imports of a food grain. Next, the development of industries. Effects on prices. The food prices drastically came down. Base for the economic growth. Since these are the raw materials, this raw material can be used in the secondary and the tertiary sectors. Effect on the consumers. Effect on the planning. Increase in trade. We started earning more dollars when we were exporting a food grains. Change in the thinking of farmers from a traditional farming to a capitalistic farming. Now here is a proper graph given where it shows the rice and the wheat, which was the mainly focused crops from 1990 to 19 from okay from 1950 to 1990. Here shows the food production or the grain production in India. In 1950, the rice production was around 20,000 tons, and if we look at the 1990, the rice production increased to 75,000 tons. So this was the effect of a green revolution on the rice. And if you look at the wheat, in 1950, the wheat production was less than 10,000 tons. But in 1990, the wheat production increased to more than 55,000 tons. So this was the effect of a green revolution on India. Next, we'll also look at the advantages and the disadvantages. We have already discussed about the advantages. Now also look at the disadvantages. It increases the quality of a soil. It has some severe health impact on the human body because the farmers which are using the pesticides, insecticides, weedicides, what are these? These are the chemicals, and this chemical will surely damage the human skins. They will damage the environment, land pollution, and also the water pollution is a major disadvantage of a green revolution. It has depleted the soil, thus developing soil pollution. Grown regional disparities in India. Now, what is the regional disparities? Because the Green Revolution mainly focused the Punjab and the Haryana area. But what about other states? For example, Bihar, and then also Bengal, Madhya Pradesh. All these states were not included under the Green Revolution. So, because of this, a regional disparity were created. Now, what is the conclusion? The Green Revolution has done a lot of positive things, saving the lives of millions of people and exponentially increasing the yield of food crops. But environmental degradation makes the Green Revolution an overall inefficient, short-term solution to the problem of food insecurity. So more sustainable and the environmental friendly system of a cultivation needs to be practiced. The world needs Green Revolution 2, which promises to feed a growing world population sustainably without compromising the need of future generation. Basically, we'll also be focusing on the organic farming, where we'll be using a chemical-free inputs in the farming sector. For example, weedicides, if you have to prepare weedicides, instead of preparing through chemicals, we can mainly use the natural substances. Okay, so this was all about Green Revolution. Thank you. So this was all about Green Revolution. Thank you.